Napoleon Hill's Golden Rules, Napoleon Hill Book Summary. Napoleon Hill was a far more influential author in the field of personal success than any other figure in history. His famous work Think and Grow Rich has earned him the nickname the Maker of Millionaires. Other works, The Law of Success, Master Key to Riches, Success Through a Positive, Mental Attitude, Grow Rich with Peace of Mind, You Can Work Your Own Miracles. Main content. The Golden Rule is the key that works all the time, bringing readers to success with more practical methods. 1. Social and physical genetics. Each of us is a combination of two factors, heredity and environment. In terms of physical genetics, more or less, you have inherited from your parents and grandparents a few traits about shape, hair color, skin, even personality. These are physical traits that you cannot control or change. In terms of genetics from the social environment, from the moment you are born, you are exposed to the world and form social impressions through the five senses. Those impressions are synthesized by your mind to become your opinions, thoughts, etc. And more importantly, you have the right to build your own personality. You can change your environment, thinking, purpose and life goals. However, in order to build a character, one must pay attention to two important principles. 1. Any thought or habit, if it is to be permanently imprinted in a person's mind, must be imprinted from childhood, through the characteristics of social genetics. 2. The human mind tends to want to achieve things that are restrained, forbidden, or difficult to achieve. So, to cultivate a thought in a person's mind, we need to find a way for that person to welcome it and be ready to accept it. 2. Self-suggestion. Self-suggestions are suggestions that a person makes to himself in order to truly change himself. This lesson is based on the scientific theory, humans are controlled and guided by thoughts, in which the mind is the center with two parts, the conscious and the subconscious, which thoughts are present in the two parts. That all provide a sense of connection that translates into action. Consider and be patient, find something that you really want to commit to and dedicate your life to, write a clear statement about it, commit to remembering it, resolve to yourself that no matter what, you still tie your life to the commitments necessary to achieve those goals. Thought is a powerful form of guiding energy, self-suggestion, nothing more than a thought held in the mind through thought. Once you have put your mind to it with an unshakable determination, and with a strong and deep aspiration, that is a good start to all success. Self-suggestion is the foundation on which to build an attractive personality, because it will be developed to match the dominant thoughts. Applying the principle of self-suggestion means that you are drawing a diagram or planning a working plan for your subconscious mind. You will be in control of the subconscious mind and it will tell you that you must start from there. Where and how to execute your plan. 3. Hints. Self-suggestion is influencing one's own mind. Suggestion is to influence, manipulate, and control the mind of another. Suggestions are much more effective than imperative requests or suggestions. A successful manager is one who never criticizes his subordinates. On the contrary, he always praised them, in the form of encouragement for the progress they had made. Thus, by constantly influencing employees' minds through the suggestion that they were improving, his employees gradually experienced positive transformations. When you plant in someone's mind an ambition that he or she will succeed, through suggestion you will find that his or her potentials will be awakened and they will be energized. To apply the principle of suggestion, you must first neutralize the mind of your subject before you want to influence them through suggestion. To neutralize a mind, you must create credibility that overwhelms the common beliefs that the subject has. You must understand that friendliness, enthusiasm, vivacity, good communication often easily attract others and create trust. But if you find ways to use your profound knowledge to neutralize the minds of others, the probability of success is very low. 4. Laws of interaction. One of the main and most important principles of psychology is the law of interaction. The human mind tends to react to the same thing. That is, good deeds will be reciprocated with good things, and injustice and cruelty will be reciprocated accordingly. If you want me to react to the same thing, you can, by forming in my mind the sensory impressions or suggestions through which you want me to act in response. Give back. Although there is no satisfactory explanation for the law of interaction, scientists still recognize this as a well-established principle. In order for you to master this law, you must practice self-mastery, learn to overcome all unfair treatment and abuse without retaliation. You can forget your ego and be less stubborn. Thanks to the principle of interaction, we can actually turn enemies into friends. The law of nature is very simple: we receive only when we give. 5. Power of mind. Learn how to use your wonderful mind. Outstanding qualities are largely formed by the influence of the living environment, through practice, relationships with others, and especially by the thoughts of each person. All life, if not nourished or used, will die, so does our mind. The only way to develop these qualities of mind is to focus on it, think about it, and use it. Use the power of your mind. It will free you from fear, give you energy and courage. How to attract others by the law of interaction. Each thought is stored in the human brain, absorbing the elements compatible with it, whether the thought is good or bad. People with similar thoughts and inclinations attract each other, so you attract groups of people to you by the disposition of your mind. Through the law of interaction, you can persuade people to reciprocate what you have done for them. How to create destiny. The value of gray matter of an individual working individually brings not great value, but the value of gray matter accumulated from a collective will create unlimited values. The business wants to be successful. In addition to strength, it also needs to have wise minds, a set of qualities of the implementer and operator. So you have to choose the best people, organize, guide, and keep the enthusiasm in them so that they bring the best work values. The most ideal era in history. Nature will reveal its mystery to those who want to find out. The era you live in is the most ideal era in human history. Not only have we discovered a way to soar into the air, swim to the bottom of the ocean, use fast modern means of communication, but we also understand the origins of those achievements. It is because of human intelligence. Let go of enmity. Time spent on hatred is not only wasted, but also kills your beautiful emotions. Hatred thoughts do no harm to anyone but the person who harbors them. One way to punish someone who treats you badly is to be nice to them. A great soul can only dwell in those who know how to control their anger, never trying to destroy their enemies or defeat them in their assigned tasks. 6. Build confidence. There are two important goals that people are always looking for. One is to be happy, the other is to have a prosperous life. To achieve these two goals, the necessary and sufficient factor is self-confidence. Inside every human being is an extraordinary intelligence, but it will only be a part of the subconscious that will forever sleep if it is not awakened by your own intuition and confidence. You should remember the following 7 self-confidence thoughts. 1. I know I have the ability to fulfill all assigned responsibilities. 2. I know that my thoughts will eventually merge into a physical form and become concrete actions in the real world, so I will sketch out the kind of person I want to be in the future. Subconscious. 3. I learn to sympathize with those around me, learn to smile with all my heart. 4. I began to control and overcome the habit of leaving work unfinished. 5. I plan what I will do next for 5 years and strictly follow the principle of getting the best results. 6. I realize that success only really comes if I know how to apply the golden rules. I remove fear and replace it with assertiveness, strength and faith, remove doubt, replace hatred with compassion and love for people. 7. I will learn to stand on my own 2 feet and express my thoughts clearly. After you've really memorized the 7 thoughts of self-confidence, you should master the 3 decisive steps that will help you achieve your goals. Step 1. You try to sketch and visualize your goal. Step 2. You bring that thought into reality through verbal goal affirmation. Step 3. You begin the process of turning thoughts into concrete actions by recording those goals on paper. The above principles are all scientific. Leading scientists in the world have researched and verified their accurate results. 7. Environment and habits. The human brain makes responses based on influences from the external environment. Habits are the result of those reactions and are stored in the subconscious. Habit is an action, a thought repeated over a long period of time. Once a habit is formed, it is very difficult to break or change because it forms an unconditioned reflex in the subconscious. The following principles will help you shape yourself into new and better habits. 1. You should clearly define your personality in new directions so as not to be surprised, because everything begins with difficulties. 2. Concentrate intensely on the new habit, discarding thoughts about the old habit. 3. Keep practicing and implementing new habits whenever possible. 4. Be consistent, assertive and persistent, showing your mastery to overcome the temptation of old habits. 5. Make sure you are creating a suitable new habit and preparing for the positive changes it brings. Feel free to let yourself experience new emotions. We see a sharp similarity between habit and self-suggestion. Therefore, self-suggestion is the first proposed rule for habit formation. Self-suggestion, persistence, and habit are the trio of body reactions and reflexes. Persistence is the glue that holds together self-suggestion and habit, until they merge and become a normal bodily reflex. The impact of the environment. Environment here has a very broad meaning, from the books you read, the clothes you wear, the songs you listen to, the people you come into contact with, the place you live, the work you do, the thoughts that are residing in your soul. Even changes in the external environment will be the catalyst to create internal changes and will be transmitted to the brain, processed by the brain and creating mental emotions for each person. If the current living environment is not what you want, don't be afraid to change it. First of all, you promote creativity and association. You need to visualize clearly and specifically what you intend to make them come true. You need to choose like-minded people to share your goals and ideals with. Stay away from people who only see the negative, or complain, because in contact with bad people you will be dominated by their bad thoughts. The natural environment was formed millions of years ago and is now constantly changing through the process of evolution. Let's think about the car. Within a few decades, what will today's living environment be like? The power and influence of the environment on human life is immense. And we affirm that mental state is the determining factor in the quality of each person's life. Inner happenings will motivate people to act. 8. Train memorization. Good memory is simply understood as the ability to remember the names of people, the faces of people you have met, or the ability to recall emotions that you have experienced once. The three main principles of the memory category. 1. Memorization is receiving external influences through the senses and storing that feeling in the subconscious. 2. Memory, recalling stored and subconscious feelings and bringing them to life. 3. Confirmation, the ability to recognize a familiar feeling when it comes to mind. This distinguishes between memory and imagination. Effectively apply the three principles of memory offense. First, specify your feelings by focusing on analysis. We need to give our brains time to process and save the sensations and images we desire. Second, associate what you want to remember with an object, a name, or a place that you are familiar with and can recall quickly. Third, repeat what you want to remember with focus. The best way is to understand a few basic principles that help train your memory and thinking, and then apply them in your own way. Memory is not a separate privilege in the sense that one person has it and another does not. Memory is understood as the ability to recall, simply a series of mental habits practiced over a long period of time. 9. Marc Anthony's suggestion strategy for the people of Rome. The character Marc Anthony argues about Caesar's death. This is a speech that embodies applied psychological principles most clearly. Brutus was Caesar's confidant. Brutus deposed Caesar and Caesar was murdered by him. Brutus had just finished a speech to convince the people to accept his actions. He was trusted and respected by the people of Rome. Antony appeared in a confrontation with Brutus. The people doubted Antony because they thought he was against Brutus. As a first step, Antony tried to calm the morale of the masses and absolutely avoided any move that appeared to confront or contradict Brutus. This is a necessary condition in the art of persuasion. You must make the other person feel free in an open state and not show any opposition to anyone. Antony said to the crowd, "Thanks to the venerable Brutus, I am here with you all. I have come to bury Caesar's body, not to glorify him. A person's crimes will follow them forever, but the good things seem to be buried with their departure. What I say is not meant to contradict Brutus, but I am here to say the things. What we know. The crowd seemed to want to hear what Antony had to say, and they discussed among themselves that they felt as if Caesar had been unjustly wronged. In the second step, Antony aroused the interest of the masses by piqued their curiosity. He continued, "This is Caesar's will. I do not intend to read it to you, you are not stone, you are people who know how to love and hate precisely because you have emotions. When you hear Caesar's will, you will be very moved." In the crowd, many people said in unison, "Read the will, we will listen." Antony continued, "If you really love and appreciate Caesar, be prepared to mourn for him." Antony approached Caesar's body and continued, Hey, and through this hole, Brutus devout and close to Caesar stabbed Caesar with a fatal sword, blood gushed out from ear." The crowd was so moved, they automatically accused the person of plotting to kill Caesar. They claim that Brutus is a traitor. The flames of hatred began to boil among the people of Rome. Antony had successfully completed the third step. Antony continued, "This is Caesar's will, Caesar giving each of the people of Rome 75 coins. In addition, Caesar left you his own gardens and promenades. He permanently donated those places to you and your heirs later to make a place of public amusement. Our Caesar." The people discussed again. Some shouted, "Long live Caesar," and they discussed will cremate Caesar's body in the most noble place and use the remaining cremation sticks to burn the house of the traitor. Antony had completed the fourth step, successfully persuading the people of Rome to do as he pleased. Antony took control of the situation. If you plan your sales in sequence and ensure 4 steps like Antony did in his keynote, then success won't be far away. 10. Self-improvement and collective leadership. People can be imprisoned, controlled by force, but their minds cannot. However, most of us are passive, following the orders of others without expressing our ego. The human mind often has a limiting point that prevents us from realizing our own strengths. Those who know how to regulate their mind and are able to break through the cutoff point on a regular basis will see positive results. Mind is like a fertile field, depending on the quality of the seed you plant in it to have a good harvest. Therefore, the principle of self-suggestion, perseverance and determination are necessary measures to support the mind. On the collective level, when the feelings and ideas of all members of a group merge and develop in one direction, many cases this common voice comes from an individual but knows how to control and regulate it. Crowd psychology. At that time, their individual selves have completely disappeared, individual positions and wills are no longer available, all thoughts and feelings develop in the direction of the leader's coordination. Under the influence of suggestion, the collective wisdom sublimates, each individual acts decisively and irresistibly. The effect of emotional contagion, each person will break through and do things that are far from their inherent nature. Therefore, leaders need to be able to present well, but more importantly, they need to be able to lead the psychology of the crowd. Well, crowds often think in pictures, so you have to spark and promote people's ability to associate. These images are not directly linked, but they are interchangeable. Just like that, human imagination constantly sublimates to create more and more other images. When people are afraid, anxious, or having a strong emotion, they tend to imitate and follow the actions of those around them. 11. The law of compensation. The law of compensation affects everyone. It is immutable and eternal, as is the law of universal gravitation. The law of compensation does not allow any void in the universe. For every lost object, it will be replaced by another. The law of compensation clearly and unequivocally affects events, acts and thoughts according to the principle of reward and punishment with the same degree of precision. Punishment as well as reward appear in many different forms, sometimes self-created, sometimes beyond human control, but surely it will appear not in this way. Another way. There has not been a mind that is wise enough to find a loophole in the law of compensation. In other words, the law of compensation is beyond human control. Through experience, yourself and your life will most eloquently demonstrate this rule. The law of compensation is most evident through the prism of conscience. People often feel the most happiness or the punishment of conscience when they come back to themselves. How that ability to find is shown depends on how much effort you put in to believe and follow the law of compensation or despite everything to go against that law. 12. The golden key to every success. A famous scientist made two opposing statements. He said that there is no cure for human diseases, but he asserted that the human body can sustain life if the cells do their job well and support the functioning of other cells. The same principle applies to cells in the human body when replicated to the human world, where each cell represents a specific human. The golden rule is the foundation for solving problems in life. The world only accepts this principle in theory. However, the golden rule is still the panacea for human diseases. Any conflict or misunderstanding between two people can be resolved amicably by applying the golden rule. Most of us enjoy asking others to do the things we want, which can be done simply by treating people the way we want to be treated. The golden rule is not for everyone, it is only for those who have contemplated and understood it by their own experience. Do not underestimate the experience because you will reap valuable lessons for yourself. Once the golden rule has shaped and developed in your subconscious, it will bring you a source of magical power. No one or any barrier will be able to stop the path you have chosen. And at some point you will also realize that humanity will protect itself if it knows how to apply the power of the golden rule. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like and share. See you in next videos.